Vynnset got some major buffs today. We got 3 new cards that all make 3 rune chants. If that doesn't sound like a big deal, then let me explain. Vynnset's core gameplay loop revolves around using her hero power to put RuneGate cards into her banish and then playing them for free because you have enough rune chants in play. The problem is, you only make 1 rune chant per round with her hero power. This means you either need to take an off turn where you set up for the next round, or you find other ways to make rune chants. All 3 of these new cards enable her to profitably continue playing RuneGate cards without taking off turns. That in itself is great, but this solves 2 core weaknesses she had in her game plan. Before, the way that you generally made rune chants was with Runeblood Incantation, and tutoring it with Sonata Galaxia. The problem was if your opponent just threw up their hand and said, okay, I accept. For the next 3 turns, you win the turn cycle. Okay, cards in front of cards. And then they just use their entire hand defensively every turn and wait out your incantations. Once the incantations ran out, your deck would stop functioning properly. Sure, you'd make damage progress, but it wasn't enough to make up for the fact that afterwards, your deck just wouldn't work anymore. By adding in 9 more cards that profitably make rune chants, this goes a long way to no longer making that a feasible strategy to beat you. You can't wait out 12 rune chant generators, it's just too much. The second major weakness stems from the first major weakness, which is fatigue. If your opponent didn't just do that on the incantation rounds, but every round of the game and just said, I'm just not going to lose to you, I'm just going to put cards in front of cards, you had a hard time actually crossing the finish line. These new rune chant makers will likely alleviate that problem due to something called damage stacking. This is a concept that some decks use to overcome fatigue, where they carry over resources from a previous round into the next one to enable them to go over the block value of the fatigue deck. This was something that we saw recently with KO using Cast Bones. In addition, the access to more ways to make mid-turn rune chants will let you have multi-RuneGate turns, which is another big way that you beat the fatigue decks. Now I'm hyping up Vynnset quite a bit here, but these are actually really good in the other Runeblade decks as well. Viscerai will likely be able to use this to great effect, but more interesting though is Chain in Living Legend, especially when we're talking about Deadwood Dirge. You can use this to blow up a Shackle, which has a lot of really interesting implications on the deck. And there's some other interesting things you can do with it too, like blowing up afflictions like Hypothermia. You control the card, you can blow it up, or blowing up auras that already got their value like Incantation, or even using it to blow up Malefic Incantation to make 6 rune chants at once. I'm sure I just scratched the surface here and there's a lot more to explore. I'm really excited to see what else Rosetta has in store for us. What cards that have gotten spoiled excite you guys so far? Let me know in the comments below, and while you're down there, make sure you subscribe and check out the Patreon. Lets me make more great content like this, and as always, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you.